seems as though a single courtroom twist has just flipped the script on one of the biggest legal battles in hip-hop history. Attorney Tony Buzbee has stunned everyone by dropping a blockbuster lawsuit against Sean Carter, aka Jay Z, and Sean Combs, better known as Diddy, leaving federal prosecutors scrambling to figure out what this means for Diddy's shot at freedom. This isn't what it seems on the surface, a case fizzling out. In reality, it's a seismic shift that's got the feds reeling and the rumor mill in overdrive. The dark and twisted truth about what exactly this means, and what Jay Z and Diddy did to get this case to go away, is finally coming out, and you'll never believe what it all means. Diddy has been in the eye of a storm since September of last year. Right now, he's locked up in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center on federal charges tied to racketeering and coercion. He's facing serious accusations that he's fiercely denied with a not guilty plea. The feds raided his homes earlier in 2024, dug up alleged evidence of shady dealings, and painted him as a mastermind of a decades-long scheme.
Those heavily armored gear and equipment, I don't think they're actually searching for any items that could connect to whatever the investigation is. I would venture to say that those are going to be the guys that you're seeing right there, and they're waiting for that all clear. And then this group that you see there, those are the ones that are actually going to go inside. They probably have, like you said, they probably have ideas what they're looking for, where they might be. So, but right now it is still a waiting game to make sure that everybody is out of this building and that it is secure for the investigators to make their way in and actually start that search.
And we should mention, thank you, Stu, that if this is in fact involving a sex trafficking investigation, we do know that according to Diddy's attorneys and the rapper himself, he has denied any wrongdoing in any of all this. So there are two sides, of course, to this as this all plays out. But it is interesting that these raids happening at the same time. According to TMZ, a raid of his Miami home is happening right now, as well as now we're looking at the live pictures of what's going on in Holmby Hills at this mansion right here, all connected to Sean Combs. So again, until we find out further word as to what exactly they're searching for and why, we continue to look at the procedures taking place regarding this raid that's being conducted by Homeland Security. You have support from local law enforcement officials as well. We saw from the ground shots, you see multiple agencies there a part of all of this, and they have a number of resources on hand with a drone flying up top, as well as they had ladders taking a closer look at certain parts of the property. And so they are looking at every nook and cranny they need to in terms of why they're investigating this home and property. So clearly this is going to take a while.
Meanwhile, Jay Z has been dodging his own legal heat, tangled in a civil suit claiming that he and Diddy harmed a 13-year-old girl at a 2000 VMAs after-party, a case he's slammed as pure fiction.
You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did ruin or run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay Z of her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward and talk today?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet, but it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close.
An NBC News review of her account found inconsistencies with her allegations. She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000 to catch a glimpse of her favorite celebrities.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof Joe ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Combs's limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver, who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
Both were staring down Tony Buzbee, a Texas legal bulldog who's filed over 120 suits against Diddy alone, promising to expose a web of enablers.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names. And you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And, when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Then, out of nowhere, Tony pulled the plug on this one. The dismissal hit like a thunderbolt. Everyone was shocked. Why would he do that? Why would he just dismiss the case against Diddy and Jay Z like that? Filed last October in New York federal court, the suit, first aimed at Diddy, later amended to rope in Jay Z, alleged misconduct at that long-ago after-party. The accuser, a Jane Doe, claimed that she was lured in, given a drink that knocked her out, and woke up to trauma. Tony's team voluntarily dismissed the case with prejudice. This means that it's gone for good, and they can't take it back. The dismissal happened right as Jay Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, was pushing to unmask Jane Doe or toss the case entirely. No settlement, no explanation, just a filing stamped and done. Diddy's team said that all of this is just confirmation that these lawsuits are built on falsehoods. Jay Z, on the other hand, called it a victory for the innocent. But why now? And what does this mean for Diddy's bigger fight? Could this be good news for him? How are his victims feeling about all this? Tony Buzbee has been a one-man wrecking crew. He's filed a lot of cases against Diddy, from California to New York, alleging everything from coercion to exploitation, some involving minors. He's bragged about 150 clients, a hotline for tips, and a mission to name powerful people. The Jay Z Diddy case was his loudest swing yet, until it wasn't. Alex Spiro had been hammering it. Supposedly, there were some big gaps in the alleged victim's story. There was no Jumbotron at the VMAs. The accuser's dad didn't recall picking her up. And Good Charlotte was touring elsewhere. Jane Doe admitted to these mistakes in an NBC interview, and Jay Z countersued Tony for extortion, claiming that a shakedown demand letter started it all. The dismissal smells like a retreat. Maybe Tony saw the cracks and bailed before it all collapsed. But what will the consequences of all this be? For Diddy, this could be a lifeline. He's facing a federal trial in May, stuck in jail after 3 bail denials, and it's one of the worst jails in the U.S.
Word, People magazine says it's got a source on the inside that tells them that P. Diddy's on watch tonight. Do your sources confer the same information? Are they saying it was possible?
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there, he was like an overnight guest. When they told his bond hearing, now they checked him into the system, and reality has hit him. And I understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on suicide watch. Another error that I guess some warden told you this. There are sentenced inmates there. They're called cadre inmates. They don't have to be white collar inmates, but they're doing maintenance on the building. And the problem, why there's a lot of violence there, they have housing units. And they're mixing bank robbers, drug dealers, rapists with white-collar people. And this is why Diddy, he can't go into a regular housing unit because somebody will take him out for sure. Somebody's gonna get a lot of street credibility out of this. People that are doing substantial time that know they're never getting out. They'll just kill the guy, no questions asked.
You think that they'd suck up to him because he's got a lot of money, and if he ever does get the commissary options, he would be able to help them.
Some people do because
I got to wrap it real quick.
Okay, some people do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a Marshals inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times a week, 6 Marshals to do it. He's out of luck.
The judges fear that he'll tamper with witnesses, so they're not willing to let him out before the trial. The feds lean on civil suits to bolster their case. Tony's pile was a goldmine. Losing this high-profile case tied to Jay Z might spook others. Posts on X speculate wildly. Diddy's walking soon, or feds are shook. This unravels everything, but it's not that simple. Dozens of cases still stand, and the feds allegedly have tapes, texts, and witnesses. But a chink in Tony Buzbee's armor? That's a win that Diddy's team can spin. It's proof that the narrative is shaky, even if his cell door is still locked. And what about Jay Z? He's allegedly grinning ear to ear. He's free of this mess. He called it frivolous and appalling in a Roc Nation statement. And he also claimed that it cost him $20 million in deals and hit his family hard, as it was time to clash with his daughter Blue Ivy's Mufasa premiere. His extortion suit against Tony rolls on in California. He's not letting up, alleging that the lawyer is a 1-800 ambulance chaser who thrives on headlines. Tony is clammed up. He's made no comment on the dismissal, but his firm has countersued Roc Nation, claiming that they bribed their ex-clients to flip. It's a legal cage match, and this drop might just tilt the cage Jay Z's way. But what about the feds? They're not exactly cheering. Diddy's indictment leans on a pattern: parties, power, and alleged misdeeds. Tony's suits fed that story, and losing one this big stings. It doesn't completely destroy their case. The 1,000 baby oil bottles and surveillance from Diddy's mansions aren't going anywhere, but it definitely muddies the momentum. If more accusers waver, or if Tony's credibility takes another hit, prosecutors might sweat. Posts online scream, Jay Z just saved Diddy. That seems overblown. But the truth is that the optics matter. Diddy's lawyers are already pouncing. No merit, no facts, just theatrics. So what is Tony's play? He's a showman. Marine vet, Texas swagger, billions won in settlements. He's faced BP, Deshaun Watson, Astroworld, big fish, big wins. But this flop is loud. His Jane Doe crumbled under scrutiny, and whispers say that he's been barred from practicing in New York's Southern District after filing there without proper admission. True or not, it's a dent. He's still got dozens of Diddy cases. Some allege harm to kids as young as 9. But this loss could scare off shaky clients or embolden defendants. He's not blinking, though. Him countersuing Roc Nation shows that he's still in the ring swinging. Still, the ripple effect is real. Jay Z is out. Diddy's not, yet. The feds are reeling less from panic, more from recalculating. Diddy's freedom hinges on his trial, not this. Civil suits don't unlock cells, but they do shape juries. If Tony's wave stalls, Diddy's "truth will prevail" line gains traction. Online, it's a circus. Some people think that Diddy might have just been saved, while others believe that he's still cooked. No one's got tapes or documents proving that this shifts the Fed's hand. It's too fresh, but the vibe is electric. So where's it all going? Diddy's May trial is the prize fight. Feds versus him, not Tony's shadow. Jay Z's lawsuit war with Tony could drag, but he's clear here. The dismissed case might spook other does. Many of Tony's suits flopped when anonymity failed. It's alleged. It's wild. It's a roller coaster, and we're just watching the turns. But what's your take on all this? Does this crack Diddy's cage? Do you think he has more of a chance of winning his trial now? Or do you think this is nothing but a small blip? Let me know in the comments below.